Good evening, folks. This is Real with Robo. I just watched what Mayor Ted Wheeler had to say, the Portland mayor, about the death that happened yesterday night. Apparently, he is so heartbroken and so soul shattered by this death of a Trump supporter that he wants to blame everything on Trump. So I don't know if this is going to get everything that I wanted to get, but I'm going to try and go as fast as I can because this is coming off my head, from my heart, to you, Mayor Ted Wheeler. You say that for years, 4 years, you had to deal with Trump's hatefulness toward black people, his racistness. Mayor Ted Wheeler, for the past 4 years, we have had to deal with the Democrats doing absolutely nothing, wasting our tax monies, and investigating fake, fraud, and faux charges against Trump. For the past 3 to 4 months, we have had to deal with your inability, Lori Lightfoot's ignorance and unwant to stop the violence. You're calling to stop the violence? Well, how about you tell the congressional Democrats to call off their dogs, which would be BLM and Antifa. And you know this, but you're a coward, just like Lori Lightfoot is, just like the Minnesota mayor is, just like the governor is. You're a coward. You have the nerve to say that Trump is racist. Then do explain to me why we have the First Step Act. Why he has pardoned people that have been in prison for no reason, for little tiny crimes. Why so many black people and Latinos and Latinas and so many people support him if he's so racist? You tell me, Mr. Wheeler, why are the communities that are getting burnt down, traumatized, and destroyed black communities? You sound racist, and you enable these Antifa and BLM people to do exactly that. Burn down black-owned businesses. Destroy black lives and their livelihoods and their neighborhoods. And kill innocent black people. But yet Trump's the racist, not you. Tell me why, if Trump is so sexist, why is it that he has a cabinet full of women, brilliant women, and women stand for Trump? Why is it that the only people that stand for you, Mayor Wheeler, are criminals? Thugs, people that don't follow the law. People applaud you because you're a coward. You, like so many other Democratic mayors and governors, place blame on Trump. Trump has already told each and every one of you he would send the necessary help to quell the riots in your cities, and you have constantly ignored him, downplayed it, turned him aside, and told him basically to go to hell. And you're telling us that Trump doesn't care? Oh, I get it. So if you're for Biden and for Mayor Ted Wheeler, then it's okay for you to be energized, to be excited, to be whatever. But God forbid you're for Trump, because then the mayor will get on there and say how sad it was to lose a life. But in actuality, Trump's a racist, Trump's a sexist, Trump's mean. What the hell does anything you had to say do with somebody losing their life? Because Trump's a racist? That's why the mob that you enabled killed that man or woman? Because Trump's a sexist? That's why? Because Trump supporters don't have rights that are approved of by Mayor Ted Wheeler. That's more like it. You don't feel nothing for this man's family or woman's family. You don't feel nothing for their loss of life. Because that's one less person that's going to go to the polls and vote you out and vote for Trump. What the hell is it now? Because you can't convince them? Because you can't manipulate them? Because you can't win them over? Now it's kill them? But oh, Mayor Ted Wheeler stands with us. Mayor Ted Wheeler is so sorry about the violence. If you were sorry, you would have stopped it 3 months ago. You coward. If you cared about anybody in your damn city, you wouldn't ask politely and suggest and say, it's your constitutional right, but we really don't want you. No, you would say, if you bring your shit here, you're going down. But you're a coward. Because you think, like the others think, that catering and pandering to the mob is going to get you the vote of the people. Well, we, the people, are sick of the mob, and we're sick of you do-nothing Democrats. And I used to be a Democrat, and I changed my party over because I got sick and tired of people like you. Trump tried to help you. And you told him to go fuck himself with his help. And now that a person died, now you get up on your righteous soapbox and you say, I stand with the family. I feel so bad for the family. But his or her killing was all because Trump is a racist. Trump is a sexist. Orange man bad. You're a fucking idiot. And a coward. It isn't because Trump is a racist, Trump is sexist, Trump is whatever. It's because you have no control over your city. It's because you cower to the mobs. It's because you don't have the balls Trump does. Hell, you don't even have the balls my senator does, Marsha Blackburn. And she's a woman. You are pathetic. You pander and cater to the mob, and when the mob turns around and bites your little program in the butt, you blame someone else. Well, you're not going to get away with blaming Trump. Not this time. You turned down national help. You turned down military help. You turned down and turned your back on your cops. You did that. All to pander and to cater and to try and get the votes of the mob so that they wouldn't hurt you. And the last time you marched with them, they hurt you anyway. And you have the nerve to say Trump did anything. Trump created the First Step Act. Trump started prison reform. Trump is all for women. He may be perverted, but name a man that isn't. Other than, God bless him, the priest I used to know when I was younger. He was a true man of God. However, these days, even priests are pervs. You have the nerve to take what you did and put it on the backs of Trump supporters, on the back of Trump. I don't care if you like or hate the man. The fact of the matter is, he's done more for the whole damn country than you have ever done for your city. You're pathetic. You talk about a man running the country and making all of our lives flourish while you can't even protect the good citizens of your city. Pathetic. Pathetic. And you cower to the mobs. You go crying in your corner like a little baby girl that's afraid of a monster under her bed. Well, you know what? It's time for you to get a dose of reality. You turned your back on the help. You denied your good citizens help and protection from the mobs, from your city and from out of city and out of state. You did that. Not Trump, not Trump supporters, not your good citizens that may or may not be voting for Trump, but I bet you they will now. You're the one that turned down the military's help, the National Guard's help, because you could handle it. You got this. You were just going to pander and cower and cater to the mob, and maybe that'll let them make them stop. Because everybody knows that when you give the mob an inch, they won't take a mile. They'll be happy with what they got, and they'll be peaceful. You were the ones that turned your back on the cops. You told the cops, basically, by stating you were going to defund the police, that you didn't give a shit if they lived or died. And you gave criminals the power. My, doesn't this mirror something else? High crime areas, maybe, where the police aren't taken into account because nobody sees nothing, nobody hears nothing. And like that same area, you can't either, Ted. And you wonder why crime is skyrocketing in your city. Perhaps you should let the ones that are trained to handle this handle it. Perhaps you shouldn't turn your back on help. Perhaps you shouldn't spit on your police officers and tell them that criminals' lives matter more than they do. You're a coward, Ted Wheeler. And no, the murder did not occur because Trump is a racist. Trump is a sexist. Orange man bad. It's because Ted Wheeler is a coward. Ted Wheeler is a ballless gremlin. Ted Wheeler is a pandering punk. That is why it happened. Because of you. So while your DA and your chief of police hold people accountable, they should hold you accountable too for allowing the violence to continue until it transformed into murder. You set the table. You did that. Not Trump. Not anyone else. You did that. I thought in America we didn't negotiate with terrorists. It seems that Trump is so much of a racist and sexist and orange man bad that he made Ted Wheeler a coward, a punk, a useless mayor, and made Ted Wheeler negotiate with terrorists. Right, Ted Wheeler? Because Trump did that. Portland, you need to hold the people accountable at the polls. Vote that sorry sack of shit out. And turn your ballots red for the innocent blood he allowed the mob to spill in your streets. He did that. He turned down Trump's help. He turned down National Guard's help. He turned his back on your police officers who protect you. He did that. Because he's a sorry, sackless, cowardly punk. And Ted Wheeler, Americans see that. Democrats see that. It's funny how your excuse is orange man bad. Even for the people that lose their lives that are from your city when you encouraged the violence to happen. Now you want to ask the violent people not to come? Yeah. Because your attitude toward these rioters has worked swimmingly so far. Ted Wheeler, check your birth certificate. Make sure you're still an American. Because an American wouldn't negotiate with terrorists. However, you have. And you act like you're feckless. That's Real with Robo.